going on, everybody? Steve V here with another video, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at the Arcade1Up Class of 81 cabinet. I got this from the Brick, where they sell it for $6.99 Canadian, but I got the Boxing Day deal, which was $50 off, so I paid $6.49. So can't go wrong with that. Always nice when you can save a little bit of money, and $50 in my pocket is better than $50 being spent. I've had it for about a week and a half, but unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to build it till yesterday. Been really busy at work, so it was hard to find time. But I built it yesterday. I got a chance to play a few games last night, and I gotta say, I think this is Arcade1Up's best bundle as far as just getting a whole lot of great things in one cabinet. We're going to take a look at it. I'm going to look at the exterior first. We'll just kind of start with the marquee, work our way down. And then we'll talk about the 12 games, we'll talk about the Wi-Fi, and I'll kind of end it with my reasoning of why I ended up buying the cabinet, because if you follow my channel, I was a little hesitant at first to pick it up. I'll let you guys know why, and then I'll let you guys know why I changed my mind. So we'll take a look at the cab right now. Okay, so we'll start with the light art marquee. The light art marquee actually looks quite good. I was actually shocked because I watched a lot of reviews where people were saying that it looked terrible and they were switching it out for a third-party company. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad. It is your typical Arcade1Up marquee where the sticker looks beautiful. When you turn it on, some of the blacks kind of get faded, and you do have most of your light in the center of the marquee, but it actually looks quite good. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a solid 6, so it's not fantastic, but I was expecting a 2. So when you expect a 2 and you get a 6, it ain't that bad. Beautiful with the Ms.Pacman on the left and Galaga on the right. When you kind of back up, the camera phone doesn't really do it justice. It makes it look like the Ms.Pacman side is completely like lit up and you can't really see the image. That is not the case in person. It actually looks quite good, and I'm about 3 feet away. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this light art marquee, and I think I'm going to leave it, and then I'll replace it when it dies with a third-party company. So the bezel looks fantastic. You got Ms.Pacman on the left there, pink and yellow strip going down with the instructions for that game, and then on the right there you got the black and blue strip and the instructions for Galaga. So really nice, pays tribute to the original Class of 81 cabinet. And yeah, Arcade1Up did a fantastic job. The screen looks great, nice and clear, no dead pixels. So I'm very happy with that, because you never know with shipping sometimes. Sometimes things get scratched. No issues here. And then the control deck looks fantastic. You got the Class of 81 art there. So you got the half Ms.Pacman and the Galaga kind of combining together. Flows great. Arcade1Up decided they wanted to throw a light up deck protector on this one. At first, I was not a fan of these. I actually thought it was a weird gimmick to try to get more money from us. But now, I'm starting to kind of warm up to them. The last 2 cabinets that I got, which was this one and the Turtles in Time cabinet, I actually find the light-up deck protectors kind of add a little something to the cabinet. With this one, I'm using the blue light, and it just makes it really pop. It looks really nice, specifically in the dark. And the TMNT one, I use the green, and it does the exact same thing. I feel like Arcade1Up is getting a little better with these light-up deck protectors. And is it something that I needed? Probably not, but the fact that it's here, it actually does add something to the cabinet. So, again, I'm changing my tune on them. It does add a little extra pop when, like I said, you have the lights off. The J panel looks phenomenal. Usually Arcade1Up leaves the J panels black, but on the Class of 81 they decided to put a decal. It looks fantastic. It kind of brings the artwork that's going on the control deck down a little bit. You got the Ms.Pacman on the left, Galaga on the right. It just looks good. It just makes the cabinet look a little more complete. When Arcade1Up used to just leave it black, depending on the cabinet, sometimes it looked fine. But if it was a cabinet like, say, the Bandai Namco, obviously the kick plate's yellow, so it looked like it was kind of incomplete. With this one, it looks complete. It looks really nice. They did a fantastic job. And then the kick plate has the classic Class of 81 decal. Now, the only thing that's missing is a coin door. It would have been really nice if they added a molded coin door, but they didn't add it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because they wanted to show off the decal and they thought the coin door would kind of take away from that, or it had something to do with, I think with Ms.Pacman, there's some type of rule where if it has a coin door, you have to pay some royalty to somebody. So yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning was for not putting the coin door. But either way, it looks good. You know, you got the Ms.Pacman maze on the left, and you got the space battle from Galaga on the right. So looks really nice. The riser is pretty plain Jane. You got Ms.Pacman there, class of 81 in the middle, and then you got the Galaga spaceship. If you look close to the riser, you can see a little bit of the maze kind of faded out, but it's really hard to see. With the light that I have in the basement, it's almost impossible to see, but there is a little something there. Either way, they kept it pretty plain, but it works because there is a lot of busyness going on at the top, so the fact that they kept it pretty simple on the bottom, I get what they're doing. I get what they're doing, and it looks good. So we'll go to the Ms.Pacman side of the side panel. So the Ms.Pacman art is my favorite art of all time when it comes to the arcade machines. I just love the Ms.Pacman art. I originally had the first Ms.Pacman machine that Arcade1Up made, and I sold it for this one. So Ms.Pacman's my favorite game, and like I said, this is my favorite art, so I'm really happy to have it back in the mix, even if it is just one side panel. It looks fantastic, and it's probably my favorite side of the cabinet, but that's not saying that the Galaga side isn't fantastic either. The Galaga side panel is beautiful as well. That black background with the Galaga logo in the middle there. You got the alien, and then you also have the same alien on the riser. Ms.Pacman and Galaga are two of my favorite games. They're in my top 5. My top 5 favorite games are Pac-Man, Ms.Pacman, Galaga, Frogger, and Donkey Kong. So to have a cabinet that has two of my favorite games, and then on top of that, you get two of my favorite artworks for cabinets in one cabinet, I mean, you can't get better than that. So I'm actually really warming up to this half and half combo. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the games here. As you can see, their menu screen is beautiful. They did a great job with that. It's got 12 solid games. You got Ms.Pacman, Dig Dug, Dig Dug 2, Galaga, Galaga 88, which is one of the main reasons I bought the cabinet, Galaxian, Mappy, Rally X, Rolling Thunder, Rompers, Tower of Draga, and King and Balloon. So the great thing about this cabinet, it has an amazing mix of Namco games. Now with a lot of the other Namco cabinets that they do, you get like 6 Pac-Mans and then you get 6, other titles. With this one, you only get Ms.Pacman, and then after that, it's a bunch of individual games. So it's a really good mix of different kind of games, different type of genres. I just feel like it's the most well-rounded Namco cabinet that they've done. They all come with leaderboards. So with that, it just really adds to the replay value of this cabinet because you're constantly trying to get on those leaderboards. You want to break the top 10. Some of these scores, I got to say, like, these people must be playing for hours. So I don't know if I'll ever break the top 10, but I look forward to at least making it onto the top scores list. They also all come with dip switch settings. Every game has some. Probably the two most noteworthy ones of mentioning are Ms.Pacman. You have the fast setting, and Galaga. They added the fast fire setting. Both those things were part of the original Class of 81 cabinet, so it's a really nice touch that they put them in there. The Galaga one was added on a firmware update that happened right when I turned on my machine. But yeah, it's great that they added all those dip switch settings. And honestly, like I said, it's a great mix of games, and whether you want to just come down, turn this cabinet on for 15 minutes, play a quick game, or you really want to invest time and try to get into that top 10 of the scoreboards. I mean, this cabinet does it all for you, and I gotta say, they did a fantastic job. The only negative is they didn't add Pac-Man. The original class of 81 secretly had Pac-Man in it. You just needed to know how to do the code, and you could play Pac-Man. They couldn't do it with this one, probably for licensing purposes. I get it, but it would have been a nice touch if they did. Okay, so I wanted to give my final thoughts on this cabinet and let you guys know why I ended up picking it up. Because if you guys do follow my channel, I was a little hesitant, like I was saying, mainly because of the half and half art. I did have nostalgia for the class of 81. I used to see it around town back in the early 2000s, but I have more nostalgia for the standalone Ms.Pacman artwork, and I had the original Ms.Pacman, like I was telling you guys. But the 12 games that were on this cabinet and the fact that it had Wi-Fi with leaderboards was really calling to me. It was really making me want to pull the trigger on this cabinet, but I thought it was mostly just FOMO. But then one day I asked myself the 4 questions that I have that I call the FOMO eliminator to really find out if it is just FOMO or do I actually want this cabinet. And those questions are, do I have nostalgia for the cabinet? And like I said, I used to see it around town, so the answer was yes. Do I want to give a space to this cabinet in my man cave arcade? Because space is everything now that a lot of us have so many cabinets. And I was willing to give up space. I was willing to sell my Ms.Pacman for this cabinet. The third one was, do I think Arcade1Up will redo this cabinet in the next 2 years? And Arcade1Up is always going to make Pac-Man, Ms.Pacman, and Galaga cabinets. Pac-Man's their highest seller. Ms.Pacman is kind of lumped in with that. And Namco is just, those games are iconic and they're constantly going to make Namco cabinets. But I honestly think, as far as the class of 81, with the 12 particular games that they put on this cabinet, I really don't think that they're going to redo the class of 81 with the same 12 games. So that was enough for me to be like, you know what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime cabinet. I have to pick it up. And the final question that I asked myself was, do I want to spend the money that this cabinet is going for? Like, can I justify that purchase? And the answer is yes. I knew I would play this cabinet a lot because it has so many great games that I love, and mainly my favorite game, which is Ms.Pacman. And like I said, Pac-Man's lumped in there too. I can't separate those two, but Ms.Pacman is definitely one of my favorite games, and Galaga as well. So just with those 2 games on there, not including all the other games that I'm going to play on there, because I'm going to play them all, I mean, this cabinet was a no-brainer for me to pick up. So once I asked myself the FOMO eliminator questions, and then I knew I actually did want this cab, I put my Ms.Pacman up for sale. That sold pretty quick. And then I picked this one up on Boxing Day, so I got $50 off. So it all worked out in the end. But yeah, this cabinet to me is a 10 out of 10. I understand the marquee is kind of whatever, but I think it actually looks fairly good. But everything about this cabinet's a 10 out of 10. The game list, the Wi-Fi for leaderboards, the look of this cabinet, it's fantastic. It's probably going to be my most played cabinet. And I would even go as far to say that if I were to ever sell all these Arcade1Up cabinets, this would be the one to stay. Take care, everyone. I hope everybody enjoys this video, and I hope everybody, enjoys playing these great retro games that Arcade1Up is letting us relive and play the closest to what we remember playing them as growing up, and that is on an arcade machine. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next video.